Well, hello and welcome back. Today, we are taking another dive into the world of D2. As you see with these videos, we bounce between the D side and the R side. And today, as chance would have it, we are returning back to the world of D2. And even in more detail, we are returning back to that hot spot of D2, the Dandy GABAR area. So today is titled A Tale of EC Birdie and St. Kitty Kitty. So you can use some context clues and some inferences saying we're probably talking about St. Kitts and VC Bird, so Antigua. Those two facilities unique. They share a vertical boundary over the fix of GABAR, and it always proves during times of heavy traffic to be a tedious coordination situation. So today we are exploring a complex arrival situation over GABAR. So we've addressed GABAR in the radar world, talking about vectoring for head-on situations. We talked about VC Bird and Piarco Center and Juliana approach control over the fix of Elopo. But today we're moving south and addressing the D side with GABAR. It's going to be a great time. I promise you that. We got a big time shirt on because guess what? This is the big time. So here we go. Get ready. Put your headset on. Let's get ready to rock and roll in D2. I will see you at the next slide. Okay, jumping right into the sector, we see we have 3 strips in the St. Croix Bay header, right? Now, to keep today's presentation short, sweet, meaningful, impactful, emphasize learning, we took out any fluff strips, right? There's nothing here to distract you. You have 3 pieces of traffic here, all 3 of which need resolved by you. So let's take it strip by strip. American 318, right? Landing St. Kitts via GABAR. Governor's 459, landing VC Bird via GABAR. Route 1733, landing St. Kitts via GABAR. If you look at their GABAR times, you see that no in-trail separation exists, right? So this is purely for the D side to deconflict, to ensure separation as required by the letter of agreement to the respective facilities. Very simple, right? We can deduce here, 1802, 1803, and 1807, that radar separation probably does exist. So it's not so much for the radar controller to worry about this, right? They're going to make it happen regardless. And as you know, as the SOP states, the radar controller is going to comply with any restriction that you enact as the D2 controller, right? So perfect. The stage is set. We have our strips here, and we're going to go over a coordination event, right? To 2 respective facilities and see how this all works. So let's take an inventory of what we have going on in the bulleted list on the next slide. I'll see you there. Here, kitty, kitty, smile for the birdie. Look at that. Reminiscent of nursery rhymes or from days of old, right? Kind of a collective shout out to both of the facilities we're dealing with here. So that's today's bulleted list title, and let's get right to the bulleted list. So we want to ensure positive separation not only in applying it, but in the act of coordinating it, right? We're going to show improved coordination, right? But we also must, on the telephone line, emphasize that we are ensuring separation, right? We show what we do, and obviously our phone lines are recorded, so it's a double whammy of recording what coordination took place, right? You can imagine with knowing your airspace and knowing the stratum that we know that St. Kitts arrivals typically go in at flight level 60 and departures usually go out at 50. Very seldom do we ever coordinate 1 at 5, 1 at 6. We usually always leave 5 open for a departure, and we don't like going that low to 5 for inbounds because of frequency coverage in that area is always suspect. It's just something we always do. So today's objective is to do what we kind of collectively call a non-radar point out, if there ever is such a thing. It's actually a contradictory term since point out and transfer of radar identification takes place in chapter 5, which is clearly titled radar, but that's okay. We're going to rock with this term because it actually is a phrase that perfectly describes the situation. So there is such a thing, right? It's a coordination event, right? So keep in mind, we're going to have to borrow some of VC Bird's airspace to get this arrival into St. Kitts, right? So we're planning on going 6, and 7 with our 2 successive St. Kitts inbound. So let's pre-plan. Let's prepare the strips for coordination. Had an instructor at the academy an old guy, and he would never ever let you move forward if you didn't have the strips prepared for coordination. It's like, prepare the strips for coordination. Like, okay, I got it. So we're going to do that. So ready, set, jets, go. I'll see you back at the St. Croix Bay header for that indeed. See ya. All right, perfect. So look what we just did. Clicky, clicky offsets the strippies, right? These are all within the time frame. They need to be coordinated, and let's get to it. So got the red pen ready, and let's take a look here. American 318 is our first arrival of GABAR, 1802. That is actually, in fact, verified now by the R side, right? They're on frequency. They're radar identified. So let's just pre-plan 6. Okay, slash to 0 there, perfect. Let's keep on moving up. Caribbean line's 459. Going to Bird. My go-to is always 19. That altitude has always did me well, and might as well just rock with it. So route 1733. Here's the kicker. We have to pre-plan 7-0. Okay. So, what does that mean? That means that this aircraft is not only going to be coordinated by St. Kitts, because that's where they're going, right? That's where this flight terminates. That's where they need to go. But they need to borrow a little bit of VC Bird's airspace, right? 1,000 feet's worth, one flight level's worth, to get on into St. Kitts and set them up for the approach. So, I have to make sure, well, let's put it that way. We have to make sure that we signify that Bird's going to know about this, right? Because it's at 7-0. That's a given. VC Bird owns 7-0. So we're going to coordinate that with them. Okay. We're also going to coordinate with St. Kitts. That's why I wrote TKPK, because we're going to circle it the first time when we call Bird. When we call Bird on the line and ask them to share flight level 70 with us for the intent of getting Rouge 1733 down in the St. Kitts, that's where the coordination event takes place the first time. So we would circle 70, right, because that's Bird's airspace, and we would show coordination as such with Bird. Now, when we call St. Kitts, we'll show that it also got done with St. Kitts as well, right? Some trainers and some training teams, so including your supervisor, might want you to write both VC Bird and TKPK. So TAPA and TKPK to say, hey, this was both done with Bird and St. Kitts. But I think if you do this in succession, back to back, when you circle a 70, that proves that you did coordination with Bird, because Bird does own 70, St. Kitts doesn't. And then you circle St. Kitts when you get done with them. Also, what you want to pre-plan to is frequency change information. I remember the Academy, they were always stickler, no pre-planning in red of detailed frequency change information. But you're not at the Academy, you're at San Juan Center, a wonderful place indeed, and you pre-plan a C for communications to 119.6. That also indicates that VC Bird, upon completing coordination, they said, hey, we don't want to talk to this particular aircraft, you can send them right over to Bradshaw approach, which makes sense because if they do want to talk to them, right, maybe they have aircraft out there, some kind of restrictions, some kind of information, any kind of information that is useful to Rouge 1733, they may want to talk to them. So we pre-plan thinking that VC Bird is not going to have any restrictions, and 119.6 will be the communications changeover that will take place to St. Kitts. Okay, so good job with that. Everything is pre-planned. They're offset. We're ready to coordinate now. We're going to get on the phone. So let's get ready to do that. I'll see you at the next slide for all of that. Okay, so great plan. Good job with the pre-plan. Now let's coordinate the hardest and more time-consuming item first. Let's call Bird. That's probably going to be what takes up most of your time. Not only do you have an estimate for Bird, but you have this quasi point out traffic information thing that sometimes Bird doesn't always respond to very quickly. Chances are they don't have the flight plan, so we have to prepare ourselves that we have to give them all the information we have on that Rouge. A couple factors that are at play that we have to consider. Do you know the number you're going to call? Don't call Ghostbusters, because chances are Bill Murray's not going to be able to help you. You probably know more about air traffic than he ever will, but that's okay. That's why you're here, and he's an actor. So let's get on the horn and let's call VC Bird. Okay, see you there. Okay, so here we are. We have VC Bird out upright 7001 on the MIVA line, and we are ready to coordinate. Ring, 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 right? We hear the phone. VC Bird, okay, your time to shine. San Juan Center, estimate and traffic information, GABAR, combines 459. Nice, short, sweet, to the point. You presented what you have. You have two things for them. First is this GABAR estimate on Combines 459, and something else to be discussed upon completion of this coordination event for Combines 459. Combines 459, GABAR time and level. Combines 459, GABAR 1803, flight level 190, squawk 7732. Combines 458, level, flight level 190 approved. Something like that they will say, and don't let too much dead time take place between you hearing approved and next, right, there you go, next, traffic information, Route 1733 landing Bradshaw over GABAR. Good, presenting it to them like that. Route 1733, no details, go ahead with flight plan, right? We kind of knew this was a possibility that this might happen, so let's keep rocking with it. Rouge 1733, Airbus A319, departed Toronto, Charlie Yankee Yankee Zulu, landing St. Kitts via GABAR. Perfect. They'll hit you back with, after they copy all that, GABAR, time and level, Rouge 1733, something to that effect, and you'll hit them back with GABAR at 1807, flight level 70, squawk 3366. If you have no restrictions, communications over to Bradshaw. And you circle that, and the dialogue would be a readback. So Rouge 1733, GABAR flight level 701807 approved. Bird has no restrictions. Send them to Bradshaw. Something like that, right? It'll change with the controller, right? Controller, the response might be different, but something to the effect, the meat and potatoes of that dialogue is going to be, hey, I have no restrictions, 70 is approved, and send them over to Bradshaw. So great job with that. Circle the 70 upon hearing that. And the last thing we have to do now is coordinate our two St. Kitts inbound. So good job with that. If you want to rewind the slide and see the chain of events, how that all takes place, but this is how you should do it. Okay, let's take another moral inventory of ourselves and go over to the bulleted list for some pointers. Okay, see you there. Okay, so very nice with that. Don't stop, right? Got to keep this going, right? Try to make your next move to Bradshaw. When I say try, whatever stronger word exists in the dictionary for try, I don't want to use must to make it mandatory, but you should do everything in your power to make your next call be right in succession and get St. Kitts out of the way, right? You have two estimates for them, right? Two aircraft landing their airspace, and one is in some kind of quasi half coordinated status, and one is not coordinated at all. So taking other calls or calling someone other than St. Kitts may cause you to forget about the other half of the coordination process and or the estimate of American 318, because you just got done with a tedious phone call from VC Bird. It might have taken up more time than we just went over, right? It could be that quick, or it could be painfully slow, and you were just so happy to be off the line. But no, keep it going, finish this, see this through. So with that being said, get going. Let's get St. Kitts on the line and finish the job. Okay. See you at the next slide. Good. So the board is now reflecting what exactly we got going on. We got the flatten runs 459 because they are completely coordinated. Nothing left to do with that. We have Rouge 1733 and American 318 still offset. We look up at the ETVS. We got St. Kitts dialed up 7301, and here we are up to date, headset in, and we hear a ring, ring, ring. Bradshaw Tower, San Juan Center, two estimates first, American 318. Good, phrase that fits. Short, choppy, sweet. American 318, GABAR, time, level, squawk. American 318, GABAR 1802, flight level 60, squawk 4455. Get back to us, American 318, flight level 60, approved. Next, nice, upon hearing that approved, music to our ears, and we go on to the next. Rouge 1733 GABAR, already coordinated with VC Bird. Now, this is a technique. I just get that out of the way completely, primarily. One of the first things I say is, hey, I got Rouge 1733 already coordinated with VC Bird. So there they know that we don't have quite 20 minutes between these two aircraft, and we alleviate any doubt in their mind that we forgot to coordinate with Bird, or we, something absent-minded that we forgot that, oh, hey, I have to do some extra coordinating. No, just get it out of the way first. Say, hey, listen, Route 1733 GABAR already coordinated with VC Bird, so they have peace of mind. Route 1733 time level squawk, GABAR 1807, and flight level 70 squawk 3366. And there you go. We just circle TKPK because it is our coordination event. And what they reply to, flight level 70 approved, Route 1733. Perfect. You would flatten both of those, and now you have completed and negotiated your way through this simple coordination event, right? It's simple, right? In retrospect, we look at it now, we did things by the book, right? Procedurally, we pre-planned, we saw what we had, we took inventory. Yet again, we pre-planned, that was key, right? No surprises. And we just followed through, right? We took care of the harder item first, the time-consuming item, talking to VC Bird, forwarding flight plan information, getting our estimate out of the way. We got approval for them that they had no restrictions for the aircraft. We called up St. Kitts, did a rudimentary, very typical American 318 flight, happens every day, coordinated that, and we gave them something that happens more often than not when aircraft are that close together in succession, and gave them the rouge, right? And we marked up the strip accordingly. The strips tell the story, what exactly is coordinated. If I were on our side, completely oblivious to the work that you just done, right, this 15 minutes of coordinating in this video, I would be able to tell a story saying, hey, I know that this aircraft is coordinated GABAR at 1802 at 70. I have to switch communications over to Bradshaw on 100.6, right, the standard Bradshaw frequency, and I see that Bradshaw is also in the know. So I know that Bird, Bradshaw are in the know, and everything is right and perfect. So, yeah, you did your job. You see how strip marking, in this sense, proved to be your proof, your non-verbal coordination, right? The strip told the story. The R side doesn't have to ask you for anything if you mark it up clearly, right? Good handwriting and all that stuff, right? Sometimes you get a little messy and they might, hey, what is this character or what is this digit? But you see how everything is laid out in such a way that if you were to get relieved or the next radar controller were to get relieved, that they would have no doubt as to what the coordination status is or the process is or the status of its completion. So great job with that. A short video today, but a potent one at that. So let me see at the goodbye slide, and we'll give you a proper send-off. Not quite the goodbye slide, but an updated slide. Everything is flat. Everything is well. We can even have the suspense of disbelief and say that the RSI gave him the restriction. RSI gave him the restriction. And the R side gave the restriction. Perfect. Look at that, man. Everything's set up. You just negotiate your way through this session and easy enough. Like I said, you're going to see this downstairs in the lab a lot. We emphasize this non-radar point out, this quasi coordination event a lot because it does happen a lot. And it's good to know that you are able to follow through with it, know which facilities you're coordinating with. It just proves your self-awareness is at an all-time high. You know exactly what you're doing. So that's why it's there. It's there to test you, and it's a good mental exercise that you follow through, know who you're calling, know the numbers of the facilities you're calling, know how to pre-plan. It just proves a major, long point that we're trying to make in the training process. So hey, good job with that, guys. Oh, and zap, look at that, man. Actual graphic of COVID-19 attacking within 6 feet. So guess what? Practice that social distancing, guys. Cannot wait to see you back at work, getting down and dirty and some coordinating, some training, all the lovely things that we love to do as air traffic controllers. I know I had a good time today. It wasn't our longest presentation, but it was quick and to the point. I think that more of the presentations are going to be like that now that we got some of the larger items in the way. We can go into individual scenarios, having fundamentals. So expect that. Cannot wait to train you on this in the real environment and downstairs. So great job with that. Hope you had a great time. Smash the like button if you're so inclined. Would love to see a subscriber to join the party. Remember, always keep your attitude just like your separation positive. I'm Steve, and I will see you at the next video. Bye, guys.